What if I told you that one company quietly sitting in Silicon Valley is powering the entire AI revolution and may decide the future of the global economy? This is the story of NVIDIA, the company that went from making gaming graphics cards to becoming the backbone of artificial intelligence, a company that Wall Street once ignored but now watches every second. Because NVIDIA is no longer just a stock, it's a signal of where the world is heading. And in the next few minutes, you'll understand why billions of dollars move when this company speaks, how one visionary bet on GPUs changed computing forever, and whether NVIDIA's stock is still the opportunity of the decade or the biggest bubble forming in plain sight. The story begins in 1993 when Jensen Huang, a former engineer with a bold vision, co-founded NVIDIA with a simple belief that accelerated computing would change everything. At the time, the world didn't care about GPUs. CPUs ruled the market, and companies like Intel dominated computing. NVIDIA struggled in its early years, nearly running out of cash, but survived by focusing on graphics processing for gamers. And when the gaming industry exploded in the 2000s, NVIDIA rode that wave, becoming the king of high-performance graphics cards. But something bigger was quietly happening behind the scenes because GPUs turned out to be perfect for parallel processing, meaning they could handle thousands of calculations at once. And that ability became the foundation of artificial intelligence training decades later. While the world was still focused on gaming, NVIDIA was investing heavily in CUDA, its software ecosystem that allowed developers to harness GPU power for scientific computing and AI. And this decision created a moat so deep that competitors are still trying to cross it today. Fast forward to the AI boom, when companies started training massive language models and suddenly realized traditional CPUs were too slow and inefficient. They needed GPU clusters, and not just any GPUs, they needed NVIDIA's GPUs. Data centers across America began filling up with NVIDIA chips. Tech giants raced to secure supply deals worth billions. Cloud providers reordered their infrastructure around NVIDIA hardware, and Wall Street noticed because revenue started exploding quarter after quarter. Investors saw numbers that looked unreal, triple-digit growth, record-breaking margins, and market cap milestones that pushed NVIDIA into the trillion-dollar club. But this rise wasn't luck. It was preparation meeting opportunity. Jensen Huang positioned NVIDIA not just as a chip company, but as an AI infrastructure company, selling not just hardware, but entire AI ecosystems, including networking, software, developer tools, and data center solutions, which meant customers were locked into NVIDIA's platform. And that platform became the engine behind chatbots, autonomous vehicles, robotics research, biotech simulations, and even defense systems. But every boom raises a question: is this sustainable or speculative? Critics argue that NVIDIA's valuation reflects perfect growth forever, that competition from AMD and custom AI chips from tech giants could pressure margins, that supply chain risks and geopolitical tensions around semiconductor manufacturing could disrupt momentum. Yet supporters counter that AI demand is still in early innings, that enterprises are just beginning their AI transformation, that governments are investing billions into AI infrastructure, and that NVIDIA's technological lead is measured not in months, but in years. The marketplace often moves on emotion, but long-term value depends on dominance. And NVIDIA currently dominates the AI accelerator market with an ecosystem advantage that competitors struggle to replicate. However, volatility remains a reality because high-growth stocks react sharply to earnings reports, guidance changes, and macroeconomic shifts. When NVIDIA beats expectations, the stock surges. When supply concerns arise, it pulls back dramatically, creating both opportunity and risk for investors. And this brings us to the core question: is NVIDIA's stock still a buy, or has the easy money already been made? History shows that transformative technology companies often look expensive before becoming even larger. Think about companies that defined previous eras of computing and how early skepticism underestimated long-term adoption. Yet history also warns of bubbles, where hype outruns fundamentals. So the answer may lie in understanding the scale of AI adoption globally. Industries from healthcare to finance to manufacturing are integrating AI tools. Governments are racing to build national AI capabilities. Startups are designing products that require heavy GPU usage. And as AI models grow larger and more complex, demand for accelerated computing remains strong. But investors must consider cycles because semiconductor industries historically experience booms and slowdowns. Capacity expansions can eventually meet demand, and pricing power may normalize. Still, NVIDIA's strategy goes beyond chips into software subscriptions and AI platforms, which could stabilize long-term revenue. Jensen Huang often speaks about accelerated computing as the next industrial revolution, and if that vision plays out, NVIDIA could remain central to that transformation. Yet valuation will always matter, because even great companies can deliver poor returns if bought at extreme prices. So smart investors analyze revenue growth, profit margins, data center expansion, AI adoption rates, and competitive positioning before making decisions. The NVIDIA story is not just about stock charts, it's about how one company became the infrastructure layer of artificial intelligence, and whether that infrastructure becomes as essential as electricity in the digital age. As we stand in the middle of the AI revolution, NVIDIA sits at the center of global technological ambition. Governments negotiate chip exports, corporations sign billion-dollar AI contracts, developers build the future on CUDA frameworks, and markets react in real time to earnings calls, making NVIDIA one of the most closely watched companies in the world. So whether you see it as the opportunity of a generation or a bubble waiting to correct, one thing is undeniable: NVIDIA is shaping the future of computing. And the next decade may reveal whether this was just a powerful rally or the beginning of a technological empire that redefined the modern world.